$10 a day. That's less than 2 cups of coffee. Over 30 years, that single habit turns into $678,000. Here's every dollar of the journey. The rules of this simulation are simple. $10 saved every single day, $300 a month. Invested into a broad index fund tracking the S&P 500. No stock picking, no market timing, just consistent contributions and time. We're using the S&P 500's historical average annual return of 10%. This simulation is anchored to real market behavior from 1993 to 2023, a 30-year window that includes 3 major recessions, a global pandemic, and 2 of the greatest bull runs in modern history. The total you contribute over 30 years, $108,000. What the market turns it into? That's what we're about to calculate. Year 1. You've deposited $3,600 into your account. The market adds $197 in returns. Total value, $3,797. Barely anything. And that's the trap. Most people look at that number and walk away. This is where most simulations and most savings habits and before they begin. Year 3. $10,800 contributed. Portfolio value, $12,120. The market has given you $1,320 you never worked for. A free month of groceries, just for showing up. Year 5, $18,000 in. Balance, $23,231. The gap between what you contributed and what it's worth is now $5,231. Small, but the machine is learning to run. Here's what most financial calculators don't show you: the emotional curve. Between year 1 and year 5, almost nothing feels like it's working. Life pulls at you. A car repair, a vacation, a just this once withdrawal. This is the danger zone. The people who make it to year 30 are the ones who don't touch it here. Year 8, $28,800 invested. Portfolio value, $42,179. You've nearly doubled your money without picking a single stock. You've also survived, statistically, 2 significant market downturns. You didn't panic. You kept sending $300 a month. That discipline is worth more than the strategy. Year 10, first milestone, $36,000 contributed. Portfolio, $62,171. You're $26,171 ahead of your own deposits. And most people feel underwhelmed. $62,000 isn't retirement. But what you've built underneath that number, that's the story. Because the next decade doesn't grow linearly. It accelerates. Something changes between year 10 and year 15. The interest you're earning starts to outpace the money you're putting in. That's the moment compound interest stops being a concept and becomes an engine. Year 12. $43,200 contributed. Balance, $89,432. You're approaching 6 figures. Not from a windfall, not from a side hustle, from $10 a day and patience. Year 13, you cross $100,000 for the first time. The S&P 500 delivers $9,800 in returns that year alone, more than the $3,600 you contributed. The market is now adding more to your portfolio each year than you are. Year 15, halfway point, $54,000 in contributions. Portfolio value, $151,688. You've gained $97,688 in returns, almost double your total contribution so far. The market has matched everything you ever saved and added $44,000 on top. Year 18. $64,800 contributed. Balance, $246,000. $250,000. Built from nothing but $300 a month and 18 years of not quitting. Year 20. $72,000 in. Portfolio, $339,073. In just the 5 years between year 15 and year 20, the portfolio grew by roughly $93,000, more than you contributed in the entire first 12 years combined. Here's the number we're going to show you in 2 minutes. By year 25, a single year of market returns will add more to your portfolio than most Americans earn in an entire year. Stay with us. Year 22, $79,200 invested. Balance, $435,000. You just crossed $400,000, a level most Americans never reach in their entire working lives. 8 years left. Year 25, $90,000 in contributions. Portfolio, $569,000. In just the 5 years since year 20, the portfolio added $230,000. More than double everything you contributed over 25 years. The machine is working harder than you ever did. Here's that number we promised. In year 25, the annual return on a $569,000 portfolio at 10% is $56,900. The median U.S. household income is roughly $74,000. Your $10 a day habit is now generating returns equal to 77% of a full household income, passively, automatically, while you sleep. Year 28, $100,800 contributed. You've crossed $100,000 in total deposits. Portfolio value, $682,000. The market has multiplied your money 6.7 times over. Year 30, final numbers. Total contributed $108,000. Total portfolio value, $678,146. Net gain, $570,146. For every dollar you deposited into the machine, the market returns $6.28. You spent $10 a day. You got back $62 a day. Now let's run the version most people actually live. You meant to start investing at 25. Life happened. You start at 35 instead. Same $10 a day. Same 10% average return. But only 20 years instead of 30. Total contribution, $72,000. Final portfolio value, $226,000. You lose $452,000. Not because you invested less, not because you picked worse funds, because you gave the machine 10 fewer years to run. Time is the only input in this equation you cannot buy more of. You can earn more money, you can cut expenses, but you cannot get back the compounding years you gave up. The cost of waiting isn't the dollars you didn't save, it's the returns those dollars never had time to generate. 2 important caveats. First, this simulation uses the S&P 500's historical average of 10% annualized. Real markets are volatile. Some years return 28%, some years return negative 20%. What keeps the long-run average at 10% is staying invested through both. Second, and this matters, this is not financial advice. This is a mathematical simulation based on historical data. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Before making any investment decisions, consult a licensed financial professional. $10 a day, 30 years, $678,000. The math doesn't care about your salary, it only cares about time. If this changed how you see your spending, you know what to do. Subscribe. We run a new simulation every week.